And her first look at the Oklahoma Sooners. They have been facing home run power hitting teams all season long, have been doing all right.
And Osorio will throw that ball, as I mentioned, in the mid-60s. She's got that great rise ball that she'll throw sweet to induce the strikeout and the pop-up, but her focus needs to be spin and movement. She needs to make sure she locates the ball, but really spins that ball through the zone.
The starting lineups brought to you by Capital One. Chamberlain, the NCAA all-time home run queen, will lead off. Shelby Penley playing today after injuring her ankle yesterday in practice. And then Erin Miller, a hot bat right now in the 3 spot.
Well, so much talk about Chamberlain and Penley. Erin Miller has been such an emergence as of late. In fact, Patty Gasso said she is the most clutch postseason player that they have.
Capacity crowd, standing room only. Alabama head coach Pat Murphy said the build-up this week, the biggest they've ever had for a series here at the Rhodes House. And the first pitch from Osorio in for a strike to Lauren Chamberlain. 92 career home runs. She broke the record in April, held by Stacy Newman. 0-1 pitch, the rise ball misses high. Chamberlain is the senior out of Trabuco Canyon, California. Her freshman and sophomore years burst onto the scene with 30 home run seasons en route to becoming the all-time leader. Here's the 1-1 from the freshman. Right down the middle, 1-2. The numbers for Chamberlain in the regional last weekend. She was 5 for 11 with 1 more home run to the total. One-two is fouled straight back as the Sooners eclipse the school record with 103 home runs on the season. As they won the Big 12 Conference for the 4th year in a row, they are looking for a 5th consecutive trip to the World Series. Here's the 1-2. Coming into Chamberlain, and it hit her first before it hit the catcher. So Chamberlain is on board, and that will bring up Shelby Penley. And how will an ankle injury yesterday in practice affect her at the plate and in the field today? This was her during warm-ups. It was a game-time decision to see whether or not she would be able to play in the field. Also, remember, she is their number 2 pitcher for this series. And certainly moving gingerly, but Patty Gasso saw enough good things to keep Shelby in the lineup, and she told us, quite frankly, Penley will not let me keep her off the field tonight. For the Big 12 Player of the Year, she has won that honor twice.
Even though there's so much that Penley does for this team as an overall athlete on the field, in the circle, it's what she does in the batter's box, and I feel like that's going to be the biggest focus, is that right ankle on the plant foot. How much of the torque that you get as a big lefty hitter, how is that going to affect her swing?
1-1 from Osorio. That one's spinning away high, 2-1. Penley on the season, 24 home runs to lead the team with 65 RBI.
Well, one of the things I'm interested in seeing is how is she going to be able to react to the speed of Alabama, the slappers that go in the 5-6 hole. Is she going to be able to move defensively to field that shortstop position?
Two-1 is in for a strike. Freshman out of Riverside, California, has wins this season over the likes of Florida, the overall number 1 seed in the tournament, and is the only pitcher this year to shut out Auburn. The 2-2 got her to reach for it upstairs, 1 down.
Well, and already Osorio showing what she can do with mixing speed. She takes a little bit off of this rise ball to make it wiggle and to induce the strikeouts. We talked about, look at how she throws that right down Broadway, right over the white part of the plate. It gets in the eyes of the hitter. Very easy to induce that strikeout because of the pitch location.
Erin Miller, the junior left-hander from Tulsa, Oklahoma. A huge improvement for her. Batting average this year up over 150 points. She was the second best hitter on the team this season. She has hit in 7 of her last 8 games and includes a walk-off 2-run home run in a regional win over Texas A&M. The one-strike pitch misses, 1-1. Osorio, the SEC Freshman of the Year, has only given up 8 home runs all season. And a challenge for the Oklahoma hitters here tonight. Trying to hit that outside corner again. 2-1.
Beth, to your point of the lack of home runs that Alabama gives up, and also the lack of balls that leave the field here. Talking to Oklahoma's hitting coach, Trip McKay, he said in batting practice yesterday, he noticed with the humidity, balls were not leaving. He's like, I expect us to really try to hit more ground balls and line drives against Osorio.
Hit and run was on, and Miller fouls it back into the screen. The Oklahoma assistant coach in his 8th season. The coaching staff, both of these coaching staffs have been together a long time. Patty Gasso also has Melissa Lombardi, their pitching coach. And Gasso now in her 21st season with 2 national championships and over 1,000 wins. Another rise ball strikeout for Lexi Osorio, 2 down.
Again, Osorio going back to that rise ball. Look at where she places this. Great movement. And the Sooners just cannot lay off that. It gets up in the eyes and you chase it because it looks like it's coming right down the middle of the plate.
This is Georgia Casey, the senior from Australia. Missed the first half of the season with a thumb injury and is back to form. She hit .714 in the regional, including a home run, and has been one of their best players in the postseason over the course of her career. Some good heat from Osorio, 1-1. So much at stake for these Oklahoma Sooners, with a national championship, a runner-up finish, and facing Alabama again in the postseason. Whoa. Looking at the possibility that the Tide could knock them out 3 of their 4 years in Norman. And Patty Gasso and the seniors talked this week about, hey, maybe this is where we're supposed to be. Maybe the plan was for our path to run back through Alabama after the heartbreaking loss to them when they were freshmen. Casey fouls it out of play. Getting a fresh softball. He's behind the plate. Chad Steers at first tonight. Sally Keller at third base in blue. 2-2 pitch. Chamberlain is at first, 2 down here in the top of the first. Casey got a piece. Oh, you can feel the energy from the crowd. They are into it early. With these 2 heavyweights going at it. Strikeout number 3 in the inning for the freshman Lexi Osorio in her super regional debut. No damage done.
Osorio so strong with the rise. She gets Penley, Miller, and Casey.
The NCAA Softball Super Regionals is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles you can use with no blackout dates. And in part by ACE, the helpful place. And Buick. Experience 5 expectation-shattering new models from Buick. Proud partner of the NCAA.
A beautiful campus here at the University of Alabama on a gorgeous evening on the cool side. Game 1 of our Super Regionals Best of 3. 3 strikeouts in the first inning for Lexi Osorio after she hit the first batter she faced, Lauren Chamberlain. And now to the other rookie for the Sooners as we get set to see Paige Parker debut in the Super Regionals. Delay in the team coming out onto the field. Let's double check and make sure that Shelby Penley will be in at shortstop. She is out there with her teammates. Number 1 with the brace on her right ankle that she injured yesterday in practice. And she's going to give it a go at short. They got a lot of confidence in Paige Parker, the freshman from Independence, Missouri. And like Osorio, one of the 3 finalists for National Freshman of the Year honors. And she comes in with an even better record at 27-5, the most amongst freshmen around the country this year.
When you got to think about Alabama, their top 3 hitters are left-handed. So this lefty-lefty matchup is an advantage for Parker because she throws that great rise, change combo, and her curveball that she can throw on both sides of the plate. She's going to be mid-60s, but the key for her is really going to be against their top hitters.
Let's take a look at our Capital One starting lineups. Patty Gasso told us they have to keep the top 2 off the bases, the speed, because, Michelle, they don't want Marissa Runyon coming up with players on base.
Well, Runyon has been affectionately renamed Home Runyon by her teammates. She's hit 18 on the year, hitting out of that 4 spot, just doing a great job for the Tide, gathering the RBIs as well, and that's really what it's all about for this Alabama team. They get the speed on, and then they use the power to knock them in.
We first heard Marissa Runyon's name in Game 1 of last year's Super Regional when she hit a home run in the bottom of the 7th inning to tie the game that the Tide went on to win with a walk-off home run in extra innings. Demi Turner is the freshman out of Huntsville, Texas, and the starter at second base this year, an all-SEC freshman selection. And she actually led the Tide in hits this year, including 5 for 9 in the regional last weekend. An interesting strategy against the left-handed pitcher for these guys that might play the short game early on if they're going to lay something down.
The defense for Sooners pulled well in. The key will be Penley. If they go to the 5-6 hole, can she move?
The other thing that Pat Murphy talked to us about is with a left-handed pitcher, ideally we'd like to try and get it to the right side so they have to backhand balls as opposed to the left side. But with Penley, that may change.
Depending on how she moves, but you're right, for Paige Parker coming off of the pitching rubber as a lefty, especially if you're throwing a curveball, it's very hard to go back toward the first base line and field a ball or a bunt.
Now with the 0-2 count, we're looking at a slap situation anyways for Turner. And originally she committed to Texas as a high school freshman and then changed her mind. Question from Patty Gasso to the home plate umpire Mike Bartling.
I think she was asking if it was a swing away or if it was a bunt, because with 2 strikes, if she was trying to lay down a bunt, she would be out. With the short game, it's hard to tell sometimes between a slap and a bunt.
Parker, another 0-2 pitch. fouls that one off.
You can tell, too, the approach for Turner. Both her toes are up on the line. She's as close to the plate as she can get legally. And talk about that curveball, that lefty-lefty matchup. I was a left-handed hitter, you were a left-handed pitcher. I mean, you know that curveball breaking away from the left-handed swing is the toughest thing to handle, I think, in softball.
Turner way inside on the chalk. Pulls it down the right field line, drifting foul towards the bullpen, and that's where it'll go, as Miller may have hurt herself crashing into the fence out there. Seems to be okay.
And this is where communication from your teammates can help you, just letting you know you're running out of room. Appreciate the hustle, but you have two players standing right there. Let her know the fence is coming.
That's chain link, too. There's no padding along the fence there. Still 0-2. Trickles foul towards Kelsey Arnold, the freshman third baseman.
Crowd loving that Mike Bartling, the home plate umpire, has to go get more softballs because of the at-bat that Turner's had, fouling off so many pitches.
And on the seventh pitch of the at-bat, shallow left field. It's off the glove with Penley going back. And Turner into second base on a ball that Katie Self probably should have called Penley off of.
This is Katie Self's ball all the way, but you watch Penley going back, and she's already half injured. You know what, though? I give credit to Penley. You run until you're called off. So she's running for this ball, and if there's no communication coming from Self, that's a good hustle play by Penley, but Katie Self has got to be more communicative to catch that.
Well, and it's a new environment. It's very loud, so they're going to have to make sure that they really are calling and using body language to communicate.
Scored a double for Demi Turner. Here's Haley McClenny. The throw down behind the runner, and Turner able to dive in safely. It is important to note the arm of Whitney Ellis, widely considered to be the best in the game.
Ellis, quick release. That catching position.
McClenny with the best batting average in Alabama history stepping in. The 1-0 pitch is inside at the knees. Big move for Alabama earlier this year came when McClenny dropped from the 1 spot down to the 3-hole and became somebody not just with a high on-base percentage, but started driving in runs for them. And a big change for a slapper to start swinging away more. How about to the point last weekend in the regionals, she had 4 hits and all of them left the Rhodes house. And only 3 during the regular season.
And with first base open, you got to wonder how much of a good look did they really give her. Jaden Spencer on deck, who's been a struggling hitter. Runyon is 2 behind. If Runyon wasn't on deck, I think, yes, you definitely give McClenny a look. But with first base open, I wouldn't give her anything good to hit.
Let's see if Oklahoma agrees. Here's the 2-2 with a runner in scoring position for Alabama. Yanks another one foul.
Well, that's an off-speed pitch, but that pitch is a miss. That's a little bit too high. I think that, Paige Parker's still trying to find that release point on her off-speed pitches that are a little bit too high in the zone. If she drops that a little lower, she might get a swing and miss.
Full count. That one fell off the deck. As McClenny laces him up. The two-time All-American, also one of the best center fielders defensively in the country. Three-two popped her up, and Chamberlain will run out of room. And the Rhodes House crowd will get to do its thing once again. Called strike three. Only the 8th time she struck out all season, and Parker gets her looking.
This is that lefty-lefty matchup you talked about, Jess. Parker bending this ball on the outside corner. That's a tough pitch on a 3-2 count.
So one down on the curveball, and this is Jaden Spencer, the senior out of Waterloo, Iowa. Now this is the group as freshmen that were a part of the Alabama championship team when they beat Oklahoma in the championship series. She was their top power hitter last year. When the numbers have dropped off, she's looking to go out with a flourish here in the postseason. Spencer jacks one to left, and that will score a run. The tie on the board as Spencer wheels around and slides into second and is thrown out. On the tag by Georgia Casey as Spencer slid into the foot of the defender and not the base.
And Pat Murphy's arguing the fact that Jaden Spencer slid in, had no opportunity to get to the bag. Slid right into the leg of Oklahoma.
And they will let Spencer stay on the base. Let's see if she could not get her foot on the bag, or if she just made a mistake of sliding into the defender's foot.
Or her spike got caught short of the bag. Actually, it looked like her.
It looked like she got in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, her foot looked like it came shorter.
Yeah,
at least
it did on that angle.
Yeah, her foot is short. Casey's blocking her. Unable to get to the bag.
I'm not so sure that wasn't just a really nice play by Casey to block there. And Spencer just could not get around her. So a break for the Tide. And rule it a double to drive in a run for Spencer. It's the right foot. And it gets hung up short.
Well, Casey has every right to put her knee down once she has the ball. The question is, did she have it when she put her knee down? Either way. Spencer's on second.
Well, the other thing, too, I think that Jaden Spencer pulled up a little bit too quick. She did not run all the way through to the bag. She was kind of trotting in and then saw the throw coming in and slid. With these outfielders' arms, you got to hustle to the bag.
Now it's Marissa Runyon. Has a chance to set the new RBI record in this series. She's 4 short of Charlotte Morgan's 79 RBI, and a chance to get at least one right here. She's also got the 18 home runs on the season. The 1-1 from Parker. Inside, pulled into the Oklahoma dugout. Look at the difference. At the end of March, she was only hitting .288 with no power. And since then, she's averaging 2 RBI per game, and her batting average is up to 400. Grounded to Chamberlain at first. She'll tap the bag as Spencer advances over to third, 2 down. It's the shortstop, Danae Hayes, who was a starter in Oklahoma City as a freshman when Bama beat Oklahoma to win the SEC's first national championship. She had a couple of home runs last weekend in the regional. Already the 24th pitch of the inning for Parker. Rise ball out of the zone, 1-1. The grounder to Arnold. She'll make the play over. First off, the one hop. Chamberlain's got it.
Chris Cotter in studio, taking you to Ann Arbor, Michigan, Georgia, game 2 of their Super Regional. Look at Haley Wagner getting a hold of this one, the solo shot. Wolverines have added a couple of runs. It's 6-3 right now over on ESPNU. Georgia has to win that game. Meanwhile, in Knoxville, this is game 3. Winner takes all. And Megan Gear into the gap, the RBI double, giving Tennessee the lead. The Vols could be the first team to punch their ticket to Oklahoma City. That game on ESPN2. Beth?
Well, thank you, Chris. 8 SEC teams amongst the final 16 standing. Here's a look at the other side of the bracket, which features the overall #1 seed Florida. They will start tomorrow at 1 Eastern. Auburn had the huge come-from-behind win in their Game 1 earlier today, winning in extra innings. So we've had, a couple of walk-offs already. One for Auburn, one for Tennessee. And we are early at the Rhodes House, Alabama, with the 1-0 lead over Oklahoma. This is Game 1 and our best 2 of 3. At least one more tomorrow, possibly 2, to determine who moves on to the Women's College World Series, which starts next Thursday. After hitting Lauren Chamberlain to lead off the game, Lexi Osorio struck out the next 3 she faced. So it's 5, 6, and 7. Paige Parker, her pitching counterpart, steps in. And in for a strike to Parker.
Well, the question right now for the Sooners, can they make adjustments to try and lay off of Osorio's rise ball? What is their game plan going to be?
1-1 pitch.
The problem with the rise ball that's over the middle of the plate is, as a hitter against good pitching, you've been trained that a mistake is over the wide of the plate. You're never seeing anything over the white. So if you see it over white, you better swing. And Osorio, one of the few good pitchers that throws it successfully over that white and spins it up.
And this is where you pitch with a purpose. You throw your rise ball on different planes. So depending on the count, you throw it above the eyes, you throw it a little bit lower, try to take the hitter what we call up the ladder. But really it's going to come down to the ability of Oklahoma to read the spin on the ball and the height of the pitch.
2-2, missed it, full count.
Yeah, because the pitch right before this one was thrown right down the middle and belt high. So, I mean, that would have gotten hit 350 feet, but as a hitter, you're questioning, wait, is this going to keep going up? It stays right there.
Fouls off the 3-2 pitch for Osorio on the season. She led the Southeastern Conference in strikeouts, earned run average, as well as opponents' batting average. And she's won her last 5 appearances coming in to the NCAA tournament, including a couple of wins last weekend in the regional. 3-2 pitch. Parker fouls another one off. She has been passing the test all year long for Patty Gasso, who says she threw Parker into the fire early, and the youngster has just grown and developed. And draws the walk. Second inning in a row, the leadoff is on board. Let's go back to that rise ball.
Osorio just has so much ability to spin the ball. This is all spin. Look at where the location is. It's right down Broadway. It's right over the middle of the plate, inducing the swinging strikeout. Look at the movement, the late sharp break. She gets Penley, Miller, and Casey to swing through each one of those rise balls because of that late break, that sharp spin, and the fact that she lowers her release point, so she's actually throwing that rise ball from low to high through the zone. That's what makes great rise balls.
Crimson Tide will go to a pinch runner. In softball, you can play it out in the field. If you're not hitting, you can be inserted as a pinch runner. So the starting third baseman, Kelsey Arnold, is on to pinch run. Parker obviously can re-enter and will stay in the circle. This is Katie Self, the left fielder, stepping in on the right side. Laying down the sacrifice, and it's effective. One down. So the first base runner in scoring position for the Sooners, Leah Wadak, the freshman from California, will step in, hit a grand slam in the regionals last weekend. .310 on the season with 5 home runs. Pops it up to the right side. Turner calling for it in foul territory, 2 down. Now it's the number 8 hitter in the batting order, Whitney Ellis, the starting catcher out of Yukon, Oklahoma. Has been the 2-year starter for them, replacing Jessica Schultz from their national championship team. Comes in with a 5-game hitting streak, hit .444 in the regional. Here's her mentor and former star catcher at Oklahoma, Jessica Schultz. That team that won the national championship in 2013, widely considered to be amongst the best in the history of the game. Just a powerhouse lineup. Throw down to second, and Arnold is back. You had the pitching of Kaylani Ricketts. Chamberlain hit 30 home runs that year. And interestingly enough, this Sooner team has better offensive numbers than that one did.
Well, you didn't really have to get many runs on the board when you had not only Ricketts but Gascoigne.
Yep.
Who's a powerful lefty to complement her.
And for a strike from Osorio, 2-1. Chamberlain shouting out support to her teammates. She was hit by a pitch in her first at-bat of the game. Another one over the white of the plate. 2-2.
Well, that's where she gets you guessing, because she will throw that pitch sweet a little bit low. You don't swing at it, so the next time you see it, she'll raise you up 2 or 3 inches, and those are the ones that she induces you to swing through. It's just mentally tough.
Got her on the 2-2 pitch. Another one over the top of a Sooner bat. Strikeout number 4 for Osorio. A runner stranded in scoring position. 1-0 Bama. The NCAA Softball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. A packed Rhodes House, 4,000 strong in the seats, standing up in the concourse and putting the blankets and chairs all around the berm out beyond the outfield walls here in anticipation of this showdown. Alabama, the 2012 national champs. Oklahoma, the 2013 national champs. And they played each other at the World Series a year ago as well. Alabama got the win en route to the finals, where they fell to Florida. Pat Murphy now in his 17th season with the Crimson Tide, an NFCA Hall of Famer. And 4-time SEC Coach of the Year. This is the only program that has been in the Super Regionals every season, all 11 years. They are hosting here for the 8th time, and they come in with a 6-1 record. The only defeat in 2010 to Hawaii, when Alabama was the overall #1 seed in the tournament. The only time that the top seed has not reached Oklahoma City. The 2012 NCAA championship team led by Jackie Trenna and Caleb Rowe, a terrific senior class. Jen Fenton, Amanda Locke is here today watching. Lafayette flies out to right, and the catch is made by Miller. One down. It's 6, 7, and 8 here in the order for the Tide. Next up is Chauncey Bell, the senior out of Indianapolis.
You see the right side of the field, see the shadow kind of coming across the infield, but for second base and right field, when it comes out of that shadow, anything on the line is going to be a tough read. And even for the batter right now, Paige Parker is in the shadow and the batter's box is in the sun, so you're going dark to light, which always makes things look faster.
From the hitter's perspective, standing in that batter's box?
See, that's the look.
The open stance of Bell, one of 5 different Crimson Tide batters with a home run last weekend, and she laces the single out to left. And a 1-out base runner. Third hit off of Parker. And Alabama will get a pinch runner on. Bell rather can re-enter. And the Tide will bring out number 4, Rachel Bobo.
Attention please, pitch running for Alabama, number 4, Rachel Bobo.
Due up is Danny Richard, a spot in the batting order that Patrick Murphy has played around with, but he likes Richard from the right side against the lefty tonight. She too hit a home run in the regional last weekend. And another one of the seniors gets some experience in there.
And the last 2 base hits have come from the righties because they're kind of keeping that front side open. Jaden Spencer, she stepped actually in the bucket to be able to hit that ball in the left center. Chauncey Bell to the 5-6 hole.
Work on the outside part of the plate. Richard this year versus the lefties, 455. As opposed to the righties, 245. Rise ball up and out of the zone. 2-1. Richard flails at it, the throw down to second, and Bobo will hustle back to the bag at first. She nearly got hung up in a pickle.
Well, it looks like they were trying to do either a slap and run or hit and run, with Richard just trying to get the ball down. And you can see the way that Bobo, seeing that Richard missed, headed back to first.
2-2 pitch, struck her out. Second strikeout for Paige Parker, 2 down.
Parker with the backdoor curveball. Richard just swings through it, and I think that last play was just an effort to try to move a runner into scoring position off of Whitney Ellis, the catcher who's so strong behind the dish.
Now it's the number 9 hitter, Chandler Dare.
Yeah, that's respect for Ellis. I mean, how often do you see a runner on a hit and run decide, okay, I'd rather go back to first than even try my chances at going to second base? Usually you just go through with it. Okay, she missed. Here we go. See if we get the steal. No, she's like, yeah, I'm going to go back this way.
Only 11 have tried all year, and only 4 have been successful. And so much now is Aaron Miller's reputation. One opponent has tried in the last 17 games. That's it. And, oh, by the way, Whitney Ellis threw her out. As Patty Gasso likes to say about Whitney Ellis, we've got the best catcher in the game with the strongest arm in the business.
Well, what I love about the way Ellis catches is that when there is a runner on base, she is immediately up into throwing position every single pitch. She is letting those runners know, I've got my eye on you, so don't even dare. Go back to the bag.
2-0 from Parker. Chopped, foul. Penley certainly so far does not seem to be slowed defensively at all by the ankle injury.
We saw the video footage of her pregame. She looked like she had a hurt ankle. All of a sudden, game time hits, adrenaline kicks in. It is amazing what adrenaline can do to your body and make you think that you're not hurt.
Two-1 to Dare, and the rise ball gets her to pop up. Arnold has it. A hit, one left on, side retired. We head to the top.
Swung on, hit deep to center. Way back. It's gone. Lauren Chamberlain is the new all-time home run queen of college softball.
Definitely been a journey of highs and lows and emotions and struggles, but the feeling that I had, again, celebrating with my teammates, and that's what makes it so exciting for me, is seeing how passionate they are about my success and vice versa.
Her 91st home run came on April 30th at North Texas to pass Stacy Newman to become #1 all-time. She added another one in the regional last weekend, and Shelby Penley is also moving up that list, one behind Espinoza and Bratz for 4th all-time. They are due up 2nd and 3rd in the inning. First up, it's Shelby's little sister, Nicole Penley, the freshman starting out in center field this year. 9 and then the top of the order. So good and so daunting has Chamberlain been that opponents have been afraid to throw to her. They had to move her up in the order to #1, so she could get more looks, more at-bats, and so that other people could protect her.
And I think the other thing that's interesting, you mentioned Penley. Penley hitting behind Chamberlain, that's really what creates that ability to have to pitch to her. It's the same thing with Stacy Newman when she was at UCLA. Great hitters behind her, forcing the hand.
Nicole Penley is the triple threat that Patty Gasso says exceeded all expectations in her first year with the Sooners. With the high batting average and some pop. Takes a look at strike 2. 418 on the season when she's leading off. She had spent some time in the actual leadoff spot earlier in the year. Two from Osorio. Got her to chase. One down, and here comes Lauren Chamberlain.
Well, what makes Lauren Chamberlain so good is the fact she can hit bad balls out of the park. Balls at her shoelaces, over her head, but because of that, she's susceptible to pitches out of the zone. She will chase because she knows she can hit it. So what makes Chamberlain one of the best hitters is also what can also be the factor that gets her out.
A home run every 6.5 at-bats in her career. 15 of those 92 homers in the NCAA tournament. 20 of them were game winners. 20% of her home runs game winners. And I think most important for me, guys, is she helps her team win. The Sooners are 71-4 when she hits one out. She had 2 against Alabama in Game 3 of the championship series as a freshman. And that long foul ball elicits oohs and ahs. The crowd here at Bama knows all about her reputation.
And to me, that's what makes Lauren Chamberlain so great, those last two pitches. The first one was very sweet. She fouled it off. The second one, she made an adjustment. She was a little early and pulled it foul, but she connected with that very well.
Has never hit a home run, by the way, on an 0-2 count.
See, and those are the pitches she wants. She knows that she can hit pitches up in the zone. She's a bad ball hitter, but the problem is she stops herself right there, but she will chase those pitches knowing she's got a shot to hit them.
One-two to Chamberlain. Thought about it and thought better of it. 2-2. Constantly reminding herself to don't chase it, let it happen. Off speed, just missed.
I think that fooled everybody.
Yep. The crowd has a different opinion than the home plate umpire. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Bell, 2 down. The freshman gets one on the senior there.
Shortstop number 1, Shelby Penley.
Not out of trouble yet. Here's Shelby Penley. Struck out on a rise ball in the first inning. Speed up and away.
All of Oklahoma hitters, they like to get wide with their feet, and watch them just in the last second. They'll kind of get even more in their legs, kind of bounce. Make sure that they're in that back leg. It's something you see trended throughout the entire lineup. Trip McKay does a good job of really emphasizing them getting wider. In fact, Shelby Penley said that's what allowed her to adjust more to the off speed, really forcing her to stay in her legs so she could even get beat and still hit the ball well.
Boy, the Sooner coaching staff marvels at how hard a worker Shelby is. Her first year at Arizona, then transferred to Oklahoma, and you may recall struggled mightily in the postseason when they won the national championship, and has studied tape, been in the cages, done everything she's needed to come back even stronger. 2-2. To the point now where Patty Gasso says her leadership has been invaluable to the team and to the focus of this team as they went through the home run chase, which, as you can imagine, can be quite a distraction for a team to not lose sight of the bigger goal, which is to win a championship. And Osorio gets another All-American to pop it up. 3 up and 3 down as she gets Chamberlain and Penley in order. To the bottom of the third we go.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol. Just want to update everybody on some of the other games in progress right now. Over on ESPN2, Tennessee up on Florida State 1-0. This is Game 3 of that Knoxville Super Regional, so the winner will advance to the College World Series. And Lacey Waldrop getting the start for Florida State in this one. Meanwhile, Michigan doubling up Georgia right now in the bottom of the 6th. If Michigan wins, they advance as well. Beth?
Thank you very much, Chris. We've got a couple of spots to hand out tonight. Michigan and Georgia, as well as that Florida State, Tennessee. They started yesterday. The winner here in Tuscaloosa will face the winner of that Ann Arbor Super Regional, either the Wolverines or the Georgia Bulldogs. 8 SEC teams starting out the Supers. How many will advance to the Women's College World Series? The record is 5 from the Pac-12 in 1999. The Pac-12 has won 23 of 33 national championships, led by UCLA and Arizona. But recently, the SEC has been making a major move. Demi Turner, top of the order, so it's Turner, McClenny, and Spencer Dew up. That's the group that generated the run back in the first inning. Slapper to Penley, charging it short. Got her at first. Bum ankle and all. Penley, still the All-American at short. 1 down.
And you got to think about, it's her right ankle, and that's the ankle she throws this ball off of. She charges hard, but this is the key. It's the part that's hurt that she relies on as she goes on 1 foot to make that throw.
That release was snap. Like in good. And as in fast.
Like wow. In 1980s snap, you mean?
Wow.
That made a different noise when it hit the glove at first.
That was impressive.
That's a cannon over there at short, and you gotta love her heart. And to put it all on the line for her teammates, I wish you could have seen Michelle do the snap move from the 80s. That would have been the kicker. McClenny chases upstairs. Best batting average, best on-base percentage in Alabama history. Comes from a family of center fielders, and that is the mascot that has been adopted here at Alabama. That is McClenny's dog, Timmy the Jet. He is not enjoying this matchup with the same fervor as the rest of us.
I think he's just nervous. He can't watch.
He can't watch?
Like most parents, he's just, I can't look. I'm so nervous. I have to look the other way. Or go to sleep.
Will he be embarrassed that his backside has now appeared on national television? Here's the 1-2 from Parker. Her counterpart, Osorio, got the 2 big hitters to pop up in the last inning. Can she take care of Turner and McClenny here at the top of the order? One-two pitch, McClenny sends it deep center field, and it's gone! Solo home run, 2-zip tied. Her father's loving it. That is 5 home runs in her last 5 hits. All of them have left the yard.
Well, and this is a pitch that she gets just up in the zone and does such a good job of getting short to it. She's got a very short, quick swing and a fast trot around the bases. She hits it over. Celebrating coming home, and Timmy even gives it the turnaround nod as he celebrates.
Just in time. She's now 5 for 10 in the NCAA tournament, and they have all been home runs. Just 3 during the regular season. And now the crowd reacting to Patty Gasso coming out of the dugout, and McClenny with a little curtain call at the Rhodes house. Trying to settle down Paige Parker. Patty Gasso made a great point about her youngster. She loves the way that she has progressed and has matured mentally. She had to throw to Chamberlain and Penley throughout fall ball. And initially wasn't too sure she wanted to do that for her confidence, but decided that that was the best thing for her to do as a teammate and to get herself ready for this moment.
So important, for pitchers. Iron forges iron. You have to throw against the best hitters to figure out how to beat them, how to fool them.
Jaden Spencer had the RBI double in the first.
Interested to see how they're going to throw Spencer now. She really opened up with that front foot to get the double to left center. Didn't even close her front side. She starts open. I'm assuming they're going to probably try to stay away, because if they come back in, she's going to be ready for it.
Well, to me, it's that backdoor curveball that Paige Parker's not really snapping off and getting right now. That's what McClenny hit for a home run. That last pitch as well stayed outside the zone. That's a tough, tough pitch to throw, but it's a big part of what Paige Parker throws.
And Spencer draws the walk. One on with one out. First free pass from Parker, who was 3-0 in the regional last weekend. Did give up the 3 home runs in their comeback win against Texas A&M. And now the home run tonight here to McClenny. Marissa Runyon with the ground out to first base back in the first inning. Fourth in the country this year in runs batted in. Skied in foul territory and into the screen. Amazing story, Marissa Runyon. Peyton Grantham was their starting third baseman last year. She had the ACL injury in fall ball. Without that injury, Runyon may not even be in the lineup. And it took her half the season to finally win the starting job, and has taken off over the last couple of months. Down in the count, 0-2.
What's interesting, when you think about classic home run hitters, Runyon does not fit that mold in any way. And even look at, from where she holds the bat, she's got a split grip. That's a good 2 to 3 inches between her hands, which is something you do when you're trying to hit a ground ball, not a home run. It gives you better back control. It really puts more emphasis on your top hand. But really, as a power hitter, it's your bottom hand that gives you the length in your swing. So it's very interesting. She gets a lot of power even with a very unconventional stance and swing.
Just a sophomore out of Myrtle Beach. Parker's got her right now, 1-2. Missed it down and in, 2-2. Here's the 2-2. Popped it up. Casey back on the grass. 2 down. The number 5 hitter, Danae Hayes, who grounded to third base in the first inning. The senior out of Morris, Alabama. a teammate of Haley McClenny's since they were 10 years old. Played Little League together, high school ball together. And now with the Crimson Tide trying to get them back to the Women's College World Series for the 10th time in school history. Hayes has a championship ring. Would love to get another one for her buddy. Oh-2 from Parker. Off speed, Arnold bobbles at third. 2 on with 2 out.
This is a hard hit ball to Arnold's left, and it's just trying to play the hop. And when you get a ball that's hit with so much top spin as this one does, it just comes up over a glove, especially when you're moving to your left. Hard to get your body in front of it.
Leona Lafayette, who flew out to right field in the second inning. Parker coming right after, 0-1. There's a fly ball out to left. That'll stay in the ballpark. The catch made by Self. Side retired. A couple left on, but not before the solo home run from Haley McClenny, who has a round ball in 4 straight games. The round. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals, presented by Capital One. A 2-0 lead for Alabama as we head to the top of the 4th. And Crimson Tide head coach Pat Murphy.
Well, Pat, when Haley McClenny first came to Alabama, she was a short gamer, but now she's been showing so much of the power numbers. But tell me, what has she done as of late to be so incredible?
Well, I think the biggest key with her is when she doesn't roll over, she doesn't go early. As soon as she does that, it's going to be ground ball to second base. If she doesn't, she's going to drive the ball like a pure left-handed hitter, like she is, and she stays palm up, palm down, and the ball takes off. And, you know, last weekend she hit 2 opposite field home runs. She hadn't done that all year. And then today, that was about straight away. That's when you know she's going good.
Coach, this is Michelle. Lexi Osorio has just been fabulous this year for you as a freshman. You talked about the fact she rarely misses a spot. What makes her so special?
I wish I knew, because, I mean, her control is pinpoint. I know other coaches have told me that. That's the difference between her and a lot of other younger pitchers that are good. She can put it where she wants to, and it's a God-given talent, you know, and I'm very, very thankful that she's got Bama across her chest.
Well, thank you very much, Pat. We appreciate it.
Thanks for being here. This is an awesome night, huh?
It certainly is an incredible environment. We've been seeing them around the country in the Super Regionals. We've already had a couple of walk-off wins for Auburn and for Tennessee. And a standing room only crowd, over 4,000 strong tonight here at the Rhodes House for Alabama and Oklahoma. They each have a national championship in the last 3 years, including that epic showdown in 2012 when Alabama defeated Oklahoma in the championship series. The Sooners came back the following year to beat Tennessee to win it all. The second championship in school history. And Lauren Chamberlain and Shelby Penley and these seniors would love to go out with another one. That McClenny home run, the solo shot in the bottom of the 3rd. Alabama also scored a run in the 1st on the RBI double from Jaden Spencer to score Demi Turner. And so far on the night, Chamberlain and Penley are 0 for 3.
Well, when Osorio isn't striking out these Oklahoma hitters with a rise ball, she's getting them to pop up. So it's definitely been effective, whether it's lower in the zone or higher up. I'm curious to see now, second time through, what adjustments are going to be made.
Aaron Miller, the 1-2 pitch. 2-2.
And I think the thing that's amazing is when you think Alabama over the last couple of years, you think Jackie Traina at that national championship. So how do you come in after graduating Traina and have a staff ERA that's even better than when she was in the circle for them? Look at the ERA this year, below 2.
Line to Turner at second. 1 down.
And to me, that's a testament, honestly, of coaching and being able to recruit. You know, Coach Murphy being able to bring in some great pitchers, a freshman, Alexia Osorio, and you know, and the other women on the staff as well. Great pitching coaches. This is a staff that works very hard with their pitchers.
Especially Stephanie Van Brakel. Huge credit goes to her and the creativity. In fact, I spoke to Alexis Osorio before the game, and she said, Stephanie Van Brakel is what has allowed me to be so accurate with my pitches. I always had the spin. I always had, the talent that I have, but now being able to be so pinpoint. Van Brakel has worked on that with me since day one.
0-1 to Casey, swinging under another rise ball, 0-2. 5 strikeouts on the night for Osorio, using the rise and the backdoor curve. Has been fearless out in the circle, despite the fact that she was hit by a line drive in a game in mid-April. Took about a week off to recoup. Casey flinched to get out of the way at the last second. 2-2. Casey, fly ball out to right center, McClain. 2 down.
I talked about the creativity that Osorio has with Stephanie Van Brakel. This is what she does pregame in the bullpen. You're going to see the shoebox that she's got on her right foot that helps to make sure that that right foot drives towards home plate. Now a rubber band is going to pull from Van Brakel to make sure her legs and her momentum and drive all go towards home plate. This is a spin ball that she's using to work on her spins. That's pretty normal. But the first 2 are very creative, and even when Jackie Traina was there, she always had something up her sleeve.
Grounder to Hayes at short. 2 consecutive 1-2-3 innings for the freshman and a 2-0 tied lead. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals, presented by Capital One. The Rhodes House in Tuscaloosa, and a 2-0 lead for Alabama over Oklahoma. As we move to the bottom of the 4th inning, it's game 1, best 2 out of 3 here in the Super Regionals. Tomorrow night, one of these teams will advance to the Women's College World Series, which will get underway on Thursday. The winner here will face either Michigan or Georgia on Thursday in their opening game. Lauren Chamberlain, Shelby Penley, and the rest of the Sooners back out there defensively here in the bottom of the 4th as Paige Parker will trot back out to the circle. 2 freshmen going head-to-head. And in a close series, the expectation is we would see an awful lot of Osorio and Parker, as they will have to carry a heavy load here this weekend.
Talking to Paige Parker before the game, I said, all right, come on, big atmosphere. You've never been here before. How are you feeling? She's like, I've watched this place on TV a lot, and I'm actually excited. And I love the fact that she's just so knowledgeable in her softball. She said she's watched a lot of softball on television. She understands what this environment can bring, and she's not intimidated.
As a freshman, the Big 12 Pitcher of the Year, she threw 4 perfect games during the regular season. That tied an NCAA record. And she is the latest in a line of outstanding left-handed pitchers at Oklahoma. Go back to Jennifer Stewart, who won them the championship back in 2000, the first title for OU. Michelle Gascoigne clinched the championship most recently in 2013.
Yeah, Patty loves lefties. And I like the fact that Coach Gasso does recruit lefties because she realizes it's a valuable part of the staff. You know, being able to have pitchers from the right and the left side. It changes your ability to throw to matchups.
Bonus that they can hit too.
Yeah, absolutely. Paige Parker doing a great job on both sides of the plate.
Well, Kaylani as well, right?
Absolutely. She was a big power hitter for the Sooners. In fact, she hit the home run in the championship series, even though Michelle Gascoigne was in the circle.
Tide bringing up the bottom of their order here. 7, 8, and 9. Chauncey Bell singled in the second. Back into the screen. Of course, Ricketts was famous for the crop duster. That dropping curveball. If you haven't seen the Churve, the change curve from Sheridan Hawkins of Oregon, they open up tonight against NC State, the overall number 2 seed Ducks. Nice on the off speed there from Paige Parker, one down. Well, the Women's College World Series returns to Oklahoma City Thursday, May 28th. The quadruple header will get underway at noon Eastern, live on ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Third strikeout for Parker. One of those was Danny Richard, who now steps in. Got her in the second inning with a backdoor curve. Pops it up. Arnold giving chase and will run out of room. Danny Richard wearing the face guard on her helmet. Nasty incident in their regular season series against Auburn. Took a pitch to the face, got her teeth knocked around, had to have some dental work done. Didn't even want to come out of the game when it happened. Pat Murphy loves her toughness. Parker, nice, low and away, 1-2.
Yeah, I think she had the surgery Monday following the series, and she was ready to go Thursday night when we saw her at the SEC tournament. Grit, a big theme for Alabama. Murphy crediting her as a big exemplifier of grit, that toughness. And I'll tell you what, postseason, you need it.
Well, and the Tide have been tested. They have wins over 7 other teams that are in the Super Regionals. Played one of the toughest schedules in the country this year. And early in the season, he was telling us this morning he thought maybe they would have to scrap everything and change what they were doing offensively. There was no power in their lineup. They rode out the storm. They lost a couple to Florida, then came back and won the third game. And things have been different since as Parker gets back-to-back Ks. 2 down.
And this is that backdoor curve again that Parker starts on the outside part of the river or the plate and bends it back over. Richard cannot catch up to that again. That pitch has been effective to the righties.
Chandler Dare now in the 9 spot in the order.
I talked to Chandler before the game, and she was excited to face Parker because her dad, Austin, is a left-handed pitcher and would throw BP to her. So she said, you know, anytime I can face a lefty, she's like, it's a sense of comfort for me. It's like going back to the ballpark days, BP with Dad.
High chopper to Casey. Has the time at second. 3 up and 3 down for Parker. 4 innings in the books and a 2-0. Back here in Tuscaloosa, 2-0. Alabama with the lead over Oklahoma. To the top of the 5th we go, and the head coach for the Sooners, Patty Gasso.
Coach, it's Michelle. Shelby Penley yesterday, a little bit of a tweak to her ankle. How do you feel like she's performing today, and is it inhibiting her in any way?
I don't think so. An army would have to come to keep her from playing. I mean, she's gutting it out and looks, you would never know by the way she's moving right now, so she's doing fine.
Well, Alexis Osorio has been really utilizing her rise ball against your hitters. What adjustments do you want to see them make second and third time through?
You know, she's so, you can look at it on video and it looks like one thing, and when you face it, it looks different. There's some speed variations going on here that you just can't pick up on video. So we're learning. I think that's what hopefully you'll see is us change a few things in the box. We're going to move up a little bit because thought we would perceive it harder than it is. So we're going to move up and see if we can start attacking it a little bit more. I think these guys you see us open up a little bit as well. So hopefully that'll work. Our last inning we had a little better contact, so we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you very much, Patty. Bottom of the order coming up. The hard hits list that they keep in their dugout on the wall in there, and right now there are no check marks next to any of the names in the batting order, and so as they come around for the third time, Patty Gasso hoping the Sooners can mark up that whiteboard a little bit.
Well, and I think what she's referring to, what Coach is referring to with Osorio, is it's that rise ball. Not only does she throw it on different planes, she takes a little bit off the velocity on it. And when it's spinning very tight like that, it still looks like it's coming in hard, but she gets that late, sharp movement with what I like to call a floaty rise ball. It's tough to lay off of.
6, 7, and 8 due up. Katie Self laid down a sacrifice in the second inning. That was interesting to see, too. Shelby Penley a minute ago warming up in the bullpen for Alabama. We've talked about her being their number 2 pitcher. We're not sure if Kelsey Stevens would be able to throw much. Their ace from a year ago has struggled throughout the season. But, of course, Paige Parker has only given up the 4 hits, a couple of runs. That is keeping Oklahoma in the game right now as the Sooners look for their first hit of the night against Lexi Osorio. Lexi has retired 9 in a row since Parker walked in the second inning. 2 base runners, one a walk, the other a hit batter. Gasso also mentioned it. A lot of players could just overpower people in high school, and now when you get to the top level of college softball, not only do you have to learn about location, but you have to learn about change of speeds to try and fool these strong hitters.
Exactly, Beth, and that's the first thing that I think young pitchers should learn is how to mix your speeds in, change-ups, off speeds, varying the speeds of your different pitches as well, but it all comes down to locating them as well. And that's the thing that Lexi Osorio does well too. She knows where the ball's going. She rarely misses a spot, and when she does, the ball misses out of the zone. It does not leak back into the zone.
And on the hands of Self, full count. Roster. Third time in 5 innings that the Sooners have the leadoff on board.
One of the things the Sooners said they were going to do here at Alabama this series was to be able to put the ball in play, utilize the bunt more, use the short game, not rely so much on the long ball. This is a good time, leadoff runner on first base, to see if Wodak's going to lay down the sacrifice.
Takes a look at strike one. This is the top scoring team in the country, nearly 9 runs per game, with the second best batting average and the 4th most home runs in the country. Looking for a hit to open this thing up. Wodak swinging away.
You know, and I'm surprised, especially with a rise ball pitcher. You're trying to get your hitters to see the ball down, and what better way to do that, even just one look with a bunt, forces you to have to see the ball barrel down.
Gasso wants to talk with Wodak and the base runner. Whitney Ellis, the on-deck batter, also coming over.
I think a big adjustment, Patty just told us about moving up in the box, adjusting the timing, but I think it's also understanding that Osorio, 11 of 16 batters faced, she started out with the first pitch strike. Only 4 of those were swinging. So these batters are being patient early when those are the best pitches to hit.
And what Gasso told us today when we spoke with her, they train their players all year long. They love for their players to be thinking like coaches at the end of the season. Be independent. Think for yourself so you can make the right decisions and quick adjustments as the game progresses. And a called strike 3 to Wodak, 1 down.
Well, I love the setup, but this pitch comes right back inside. That's a strike, but Wodak, 3 pitches. She takes the first one down the middle for a strike. She swings at the rise ball, and this is why I think laying down a bunt can be so important when you're struggling against a pitcher.
And now they'll try Whitney Ellis here to move the runner over. Yeah, they did not even take a shot at the sacrifice there. 6th strikeout for Osorio. Ellis struck out on a rise ball in the 2nd inning. Up on the rooftop of the press box. 0-2. Doesn't chase. Nice snag by Chauncey Bell there behind the dish. Their new starter this year replaced Molly Fichtner. Struck her out, number 7. 2 down.
Osorio continuing to use that rise ball. Look at the way it runs away from the righties. That's what also makes this pitch so hard to catch up to. Not only is it moving planes up, it's now sliding or cutting away from the righties. Ellis swings through that.
Michelle, I feel like we've seen 5 different rise balls from her. We've seen the one for a strike, the one she'll throw early, which is right down the middle. We've seen the one that Chauncey Bell's got to jump up and try to grab. That last one almost looked like a curveball that was rising up and away.
Big at-bat here now for Nicole Penley, the number 9 hitter. If she can find a way on, Chamberlain would be coming up with runners on base for the first time tonight.
I think just it all comes down to pitching with a purpose. I mean, everything that Osorio throws, there's a purpose to the pitch, there's a place it should be, and a spot she should hit.
Hit and run was on. Osorio gets her to foul it off. 0-2. And are they saying she was either out of the batter's box or stepped on the plate?
She left early. The runner, Katie Self, left early on the steal.
So the base runner goes early at first.
If you leave before the ball is released, you watch Self on the right-hand part of the screen. She's off the bag by about 1.5 feet. And even though the ball is fouled off, it's a runner is called out.
Coming up, Haley McClenny, the solo home run for the Tide in the third.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol. Nervous times for Michigan in Ann Arbor. Taking on Georgia up 3 in the bottom of the 7th. That's Anna Swafford. What a bomb. Cutting into that lead. The 2-run shot makes it a 1-run game. Michigan trying to hang on. And Megan Betza, who started this game in the circle, comes back in and induces the infield pop-up. So the Wolverines are on their way to Oklahoma City. Beth?
Well, thank you, Chris. So the winner here in Tuscaloosa will face Michigan on Thursday at the Women's College World Series. Times are to be determined for those matchups. Alabama with a 2-0 lead over Oklahoma. Timmy the Jet was so thrilled that Haley McClenny hit a home run earlier. He is simply beside himself. Keeping an eye on McClenny. That is Timmy the Jet's owner. She's due up second. Demi Turner here, top of the order for the Tide. They have generated both runs tonight. Turner doubled and then scored on the Jaden Spencer double back in the first, and then McClenny with the solo shot in the third. 4 games in a row with a home run, 5 total bombs over that stretch. 5 hits in the postseason, all of them out of the building. She's on deck. Here's the 0-1 from Parker. Nice snag by Arnold. 1 down. Time for the pick you up moment of the game, brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car, and it's McClenny in her last at-bat.
Well, one thing she told me before the game, what she does against lefties is break the spin. So when that ball is moving away from her, she tries to get square to it. She did just that. One of the hardest things to do against lefties is try to go with that spin. And I never had heard that term before, break the spin. So she's breaking it down the batting cages pregame, saying all I need to do is get my barrel square instead of trying to hit that ball to left field. That's why it went out in right center.
Coming inside to McClenny, 1-1. Pat Murphy told us she now sees herself as a run producer, somebody who can, in that number 3 spot in the order, bring people home. She has gotten away a little bit from her slapper mentality. And an incredible turnaround of 3 home runs during the entire regular season. And now 5 in the postseason. Three and 1. Popped it up. Ellis with room makes the catch. 2 down. Bottom of the 5th, a 2-0 Alabama lead over Oklahoma. The Tide are trying to knock the Sooners out of the postseason for the 3rd time in 4 years. Can the Sooners figure out Lexi Osorio in their final 2 at-bats? They are hitless so far. Spencer has been on base twice tonight with a double and a walk.
She's done a nice job with her approach. First at bat was obvious she was looking in. She sat in, she hit in, and she knew she was going to be thrown away, and she took patience, worked herself a walk.
Off speed out of the zone, 3-0. With Marissa Home-Runyon on deck. Third time tonight Spencer's been on. Let's see if Pat Murphy will go to a pinch runner here. He has not used one yet for Jaden Spencer, and he's headed down to the end of the dugout. May wait to see if she gets over into scoring position. Runyon's 0 for 2, a ground out and a pop-up.
Both her at-bats, she's been out in front. And as lefties, when you do face that left-handed pitcher, you get excited. And sometimes you get too early trying to get ahead of that curveball. And that's what Runyon has done this game.
She is just 2 for 11 in the postseason. Had a couple of hits in the regional last week. %60 of her hits this year are extra base hits. And the pop up to Chamberlain. Lauren will put the glove down and pick up the bat. The career NCAA home run leader will have another chance to let it. Well, this week on ESPNW.com, need to know about the NCAA softball championships, including a terrific breakdown of pitching from the guys at Sports Science. Also softball snapshots, pictures from around the country in the super regionals. There's also a good piece on the success of ULL, as well as Lauren Chamberlain's thoughts on becoming the new home run queen. How about the grades so far? The debut for the two freshmen in their first super regional appearance for Parker and Osorio, Professor Smith.
Well, when it comes down to efficiency, I think Parker pitch count is higher than Osorio's. Osorio getting an A there. Attacking hitters, both of them, I think, need to limit the free passes a little bit more and poise under pressure. I like what Osorio's doing. She has not given up a hit yet in this game to the Sooners, a very powerful offense. Both of the young ladies doing a good job, but I'd like to see Parker attack hitters a little bit better, limit some of the free passes, and go right at the Bama hitters.
Pinch hitter here in the 9 spot for Nicole Penley. It's Callie Case, the junior out of Sewanee, Georgia. The line for the Sooners: no runs, no hits, the one error tonight. Check that, Callie Parsons is the pinch hitter. Senior out of Pryor, Oklahoma. .323 hitter on the year. Another lefty versus righty matchup for the Sooners. She was one of the unsung heroes of that national championship team in 2013. Was a member of the All-World Series team. Get through. And she breaks up the no-hitter here in the top of the 6th. And Lauren Chamberlain will step to the plate as the game-tying run.
Here we go, Sooners! Everybody, here we go!
Leslie Jury loosening up in the Alabama bullpen. And how will Osorio throw to Chamberlain now with a runner on for the first time? Hit her with a pitch in the first, got her to pop up in the third. 1-0.
I think the big thing here is you just cannot make that mistake. That's one of the things that Osorio has done so well this year. She's limited the damage by missing out of the zone and not in the zone.
2-0. 426 batting average in her NCAA postseason career with 14 home runs in 29 games. Launches that one towards the scoreboard and left, and it's gone. Chamberlain ties it up. from Chamberlain, and we are even at 2 apiece.
They try to get her to chase early. She's so patient. She gets ahead in the count 2-0. So what does Osorio have to do? She's got to come back meaty. That is a hitter's pitch, and Chamberlain crushes it.
It starts with the pinch hitter in the 9 spot, Callie Parsons, breaking up the no-hitter with a single, and then Chamberlain with the big bop.
And to me, this is a miss. This ball hangs through the zone a little bit too long. It's an outside pitch, but that shows the strength of Chamberlain, that she can take an outside pitch and a pull hitter pulls that over the left center fence.
And now Penley can give the Sooners the lead.
And Jess, you've said it best about Chamberlain, that she can hit bad pitches or bad strikes. They're not strikes. That pitch left a little bit too sweet. It was still a ball running away from the zone, but it just shows the reach, the power that she has.
A Chamberlain home run is a very successful team for the Sooners over the course of her 4-year career. 71-4 when she sends one out. And she's got one tonight off of Osorio.
I just love watching the swing of Chamberlain. You watch her back leg get off the ground. I mean, her explosion. There are very few hitters that can do the things she can do with her body to allow her to be so powerful on different pitches. Watch this back leg. She's low in her stance like everyone else, but very few hitters see that back leg come off the ground and move up. Smitty, you and I talked about that before the game, how special that is.
Well, the freshman had won the previous matchup with her, but the senior won that one. And now Penley ahead in the count 3-0. Taken all the way.
Well, and you got to love the Coach Gasso putting in a pinch hitter. Parsons getting that hit. That kind of opened the floodgates, put someone on base for Chamberlain. You could almost feel the momentum. I mean, that's a coach who knows her team, knows what needs to be done when you manage the game.
Draws the walk. The go-ahead run on base for OU for Aaron Miller. Third walk from Osorio. Talked about the Sooners and how good they are at making adjustments through the course of a game. Almost as good as hitting the ball out as reliving it in the dugout with your teammates and coaches. Chamberlain has done that more than anybody in history, 93 times. 1-0 to Miller. Still nobody out here in the top of the 6th. Who's got a Sharpie? Somebody's got to run down and update that list.
You got to give Callie Parsons one.
Callie Parsons won at LC right there. LC, Lauren Chamberlain needs a check mark next to the hard hits there. Dropping it down and safe at first.
Well, for me, this is all about positioning. I love the fact that Miller is going to take a look at the defense, and she sneaks this down. This needs to be read quicker, in my opinion. Runyon, as a third baseman, the second you see the hands come down for the bunt, you've got to be charging that a little bit harder. Great bunt by Aaron Miller. And Oklahoma starting to bust the gates open.
With a runner in scoring position, but on the season, Georgia Casey is hitting .433 RISP. Two out with nobody out and a 1-0 count. Georgia struck out in the first, flew out to center field in the fourth. By the way, Shelby Penley staying in the game as a base runner, not lifted for a pinch runner with the ankle injury, staying out there as the adrenaline continues to propel her. Casey dropping it down. Osorio's only play is to first, one out, and now two in scoring position for the pitcher, Paige Parker. Second sacrifice of the night for the Sooners.
The Sooners making some really good adjustments off of Osorio's high rise ball, laying off that, forcing her to come a little bit lower through the zone. Capitalizing.
Parker a walk and grounded to short. Infield is in. Three hits and a walk in the inning for the Sooners, including the two-run home run from Chamberlain to tie this game up here in the top of the sixth. Game one, best of three. Game two in the if necessary tomorrow night. Winner here will play Michigan in the World Series on Thursday. Osorio brings it in for a strike, 1-2. Got a delay as a tennis ball has found its way onto the outfield grass. Parker does not go fishing, 2-2.
Again, this third time through the lineup, you can see the adjustments that the Sooners have made. They're not fishing for those rise balls like they were earlier, first time through the lineup.
Parker to center field. McClenny on the run. Back to the track. Makes the catch. Penley will tag from third, and Oklahoma has the lead. Paige Parker with the sacrifice fly for the third run of the inning.
They're lucky that ball didn't leave the park. It looked off the bat. Parker got all of it. She just got all of it up and not so much out. But she definitely hit it deep enough to get the run in.
Katie Self is the 7th to the plate this inning. Laid down a sacrifice and walked. First time the Tide have fallen behind in this NCAA tournament on a 3-run 6th inning for the Sooners.
That's a pitch that Osorio doesn't sneak in very often, right at the bottom of the strike zone. She tends to work so much up that she wants that pitch called.
There's a deep fly ball down the left field line, off the foul pole, and out for the home run. Second of the inning for Oklahoma, and the 10th of the year for Self.
Katie Self just does a nice job of it's left low in the zone. They've been so patient, and because of that, they get to reap the rewards. What are they? A pitch that you can crush.
And that's what happens on a 2-0 pitch when you have to come back into the zone.
Good thing she's okay. She got so excited coming home. She slipped on home plate. Her teammates caught her. At least she hit home plate. Both home runs in this inning coming on 2-0 counts.
Osorio had only given up 8 home runs all season, and now 2 in the inning. Remember, she started out the 6th with a no-hitter. And now Tori Nerschel, the pinch hitter, is the 8th to the plate, as the Sooners have turned it around. Now 105 home runs on the season for Oklahoma. And will we see Shelby Penley in the pitcher circle? Second time tonight we've seen her warming up. Has thrown just 10 innings in the last month. What has become their number 2 behind Parker.
Remember, because Penley's the shortstop, she has to throw between innings. So if they do need her, she'll be ready.
Off speed from Osorio, in for a strike, 1-2. Four hits in the inning, a sacrifice bunt, a sacrifice fly, and a couple of home runs. Two with 2 outs. Full count. When you saw the words from Mike Bartling, that's a warning right there to Pat Murphy, arguing the balls and strikes. Slices it foul. run, sixth inning. The home run from Katie Self, a 2-run shot. The home run from Lauren Chamberlain, a 2-run shot. And the RBI sacrifice fly from the pitcher. Raffaele steps on the bag. Well, she has impacted the game of college softball, and she has impacted. Well, they're going to say it's a foul ball. They will bring Nerschel back, and she fouled it off her foot. I thought the umpire was pointing to the plate.
It a foul ball. Definitely didn't hit off her body. It's hard to tell from this angle, but from here it looks like it went over the bag.
Yeah. Nope.
It looks like she fields it foul.
Another chance for Nerschel. And the walk.
You know, something noticing from Alabama is the strong reactions now to every call, every ball that's been called, that last foul ball. A lot of explosion coming from the dugout and the fans. And that can affect the players. You don't want to let that distract you. You cannot let umpires' calls affect how you play the game.
There has been a warning issued to the Alabama coach. This is now the 9th batter to the plate. Whitney Ellis has struck out a couple of times. Hitless through 5. The Sooners have busted out the bats here in the 6th. Trying to get to the World Series for the 10th time. In foul territory, and the catch is made by Chauncey Bell. But the Sooners take the lead behind Lauren Chamberlain.
Reason why she's such a great hitter, using that backside to have Oklahoma go up 2-zip. And she's followed by Katie Self with a 3-run shot. OU up 5-0.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol. NC State at Oregon. Renata Davis is going to start the game, leading off the game with this bomb. The Wolfpack looking to continue their improbable run right now over on ESPNU, and this game will follow our game here on ESPN. Beth?
Well, we continue to talk about the home run balls all season long and into the postseason. The Michigan Wolverines, one of the top home run hitting teams in the nation, they have already advanced to the Women's College World Series. They will play on Thursday afternoon, the winner of our game here in Tuscaloosa. Beth Mowens, Jessica Mendoza, Michelle Smith. What a turnaround from getting no hit to knocking 2 out of the park and putting 5 up on the board for the Sooners.
It shows why Oklahoma has been so successful. They make the adjustments third at bat. Osorio was owning them with the rise ball. What they do, they laid off of it. Both those home runs coming on 2-0 counts because of their patience.
Well, the big thing it tells me is that you cannot be predictable. As a pitcher, you have to continue to mix speeds, mix locations. That third time through the order, it's so much easier for hitters to understand you as a pitcher. So you have to zig while your opponents are zagging. I mean, it's always that chess game of trying to upset rhythm and timing as the game progresses.
And now the Tide trailing for the first time in the NCAA tournament. Hayes, Lafayette, and Bell as they head towards the bottom of their order. Danae 0 for 2, a ground out in the first, then reached on an error in the third on Kelsey Arnold at third base. The defensive change, Callie Parsons, who came on to hit for Nicole Penley, will stay out there in center field. The experience in the postseason for Patty Gasso. And you got to think Paige Parker has a little more pep in her step now, too, from down 0-2 to up 5-2.
You know, I think a lot of players, too, talk about the intimidation of playing in an environment like this, but I think it's that much more fun. When you have loud crowds, knowledgeable fans.
Hops up on Penley at short. No problem with it. One down. Well, we've got game 3 of the NBA playoffs coming your way from the Western Conference. It's the Warriors and the Rockets with Golden State up 2-0. That'll begin with NBA Countdown at 8 Eastern, then at 9. We'll tip it up Golden State and Houston. Game 3 Saturday night at 9 Eastern on ESPN. Leona Lafayette, a couple of flyouts. One to left, one to right. Parker dropped right in for a 1-and-1. Sooners were at home for the regionals, have to hit the road for the Supers. And trying to fight their way back to Oklahoma for the World Series. One-two from Parker. Lafayette to Penley, who had to stay back on it, but has the time to throw her out. 2 down.
That's a second straight ball that Penley's gotten. We talked about her ankle and the injury, how it would affect her, and she just looks so light on her feet out there. This ball, look at her read the hop. She understands what she needs to do. She goes back and then plants back on that right foot to come off and make a solid throw to first base. Good read and good athleticism.
Yeah, absolutely. And she has the arm to be able to do that. A lot of shortstops have to come up to shorten that throw. But she has such a strong arm. She knows her ability. She can go back, take that on the back hop, and still make that throw across the infield. She's a phenomenal shortstop.
Has made 3 plays defensively at short so far tonight, including a couple this inning. Well, the changeup has Bell way out in front. She struck her out on a changeup in the 4th. Chauncey singled back in the 2nd.
And that's just a nasty pitch to these righties because she's been coming inside the first 2 at-bats, and now she's throwing in that off-speed, and they're out in front.
Penley deep in the hole. The throw to first got her. Penley showing off that All-American arm and a smile for a senior who wasn't even sure she'd be able to play with a bum ankle tonight. She's playing all right.
Shelby Penley in the hole. Watch her go deep and plant, as you said, Michelle, with a gun to first base.
The NCAA Softball Super Regionals is presented by the Capital One Venture Card. Earn unlimited double miles you can use with no blackout dates.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol, decisive Game 3 in Knoxville. Tennessee and Florida State. And Tennessee would score a run early to take the 1-0 lead. And then this is how it would end. Rainey Gaffin, the complete game, scattering 5 hits, the 2-3 ground out there. And Tennessee joins Michigan in the College World Series field. Beth?
Well, Chris, Tennessee has been on a postseason roll. It started in the SEC tournament. This young team has grown up so much in the last few weeks, and they are into the World Series to face off with either Florida or Kentucky. That series in Gainesville will get underway at 1 Eastern. The Michigan Wolverines are also in, and they will face either Oklahoma or Alabama on Thursday. And right now, with a 5-run 6th inning, including a couple of home runs, the Sooners are in the driver's seat. As we start out the 7th, Parsons in the 9 spot, and then Chamberlain and Penley will come up again. The Sooners have not blown a 7th inning lead all season. 22-0. Chamberlain, the 2-run home runner, last time up in the 6th inning. Osorio had not given up a hit until Parsons started out the 6th. And now Alexia in front 0-2. Tied, by the way, in the bottom of the 7th. We'll have 8, 9, and 1 coming up. Game 1, best of 3. Game 2 tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night if necessary. One and 2. Two and 2. Parsons fouled that one off of Bell. Even though walked it off.
Yeah, even though sometimes you have that gear on, it can hit in the split where the seams, you can see her off the top of that knee guard. Tough position.
She'll take the signal from Van Brakel in the dugout, pass it on to Osorio. 2-2 pitch. Chasing those rise balls. They were doing it early. They're not doing it of late.
You can definitely tell the Sooners have made their adjustments. That 3rd time through the lineup, just looking to force Osorio to throw pitches lower in the zone and work from behind. When pitchers have to work from behind, they can get into troubles. 5th full count for Osorio.
McClenny in shallow center, 1 down, and here comes Lauren Chamberlain. Let's take a look at our Capital One Cup impact performance, and it came with 1 swing of the bat.
It was a beautiful one. A nice swing on an outside pitch, driving this out to left field. Chamberlain hitting her 93rd career home run. And oh, by the way, that's a record.
3 better than the old record of Stacy Newman. It was a challenge that Lauren Chamberlain embraced coming out of high school when she arrived at Oklahoma, and it has come true for her. And that will be all for Alexis Osorio as Sydney Littlejohn comes on here in the top of the 7th with 1 out. Pitching change in Tuscaloosa with the Sooners on top. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Super Regionals presented by Capital One. The Rhodes House here in Tuscaloosa, 5-2 Sooners, and a pitching change for the Crimson Tide. Sydney Littlejohn will come on, the right-handed sophomore out of Rusk, Texas. 16-1 on the season, and a 1.43 ERA. On to relieve Lexi Osorio, the freshman. Out after 6 1/3, 5 runs, 4 hits, and 7 strikeouts. And how about this for Littlejohn? Welcome to the ball game. Now throw to Lauren Chamberlain, who's already got a 2-run home run tonight. Hit by a pitch in the first, popped up in the third, and then jacked the 2-run shot in the 6th. A 5-run 6th inning for the Sooners. Through the first 5 innings tonight, they did not have a hit. With that quick outburst showing us why they are the top scoring team in the country this year with over 100 home runs on the resume. Chamberlain pulled that one foul.
It's interesting too, and I know it's a different pitcher, but they go back to the same location in the pitch that she hit a home run. Both strikes in this at bat are on the outside white part of the plate. She likes to pull that pitch, get very long and through it.
1-2 to Chamberlain. Popped it up. Demi Turner. 2 down. Some advice about Littlejohn she'll pass on to Shelby Penley.
It's a great teammate, too. You just get out, fly out, instead of going back to the dugout pouting. You make sure you pass on the information to your next big hitter.
And she went and talked to Aaron Miller as well. She's confident that Penley can get on base here with 2 outs. Struck out in the first, popped up in the third, and then walked and scored on the Parker RBI sac fly in the 6th. Here's a look at what the Bama folks call the nasty curve of Sydney Littlejohn. 0-2. To Penley. Offset foul. Went for one up and out of the zone. McClenny with the catch in center. She's got 5 home runs in her last 4 games. She's due up 4th. Will Haley McClenny get a chance? Last AB for the Tide coming up. And the Women's College World Series gets underway in Oklahoma City on Thursday, May 28th at noon Eastern on ESPN. The Michigan Wolverines will be there for the 11th time in school history, the 2005 national champs. They await either Alabama or Oklahoma. Tennessee is also advanced on the other side of the bracket. They are back in the World Series for the 7th time in school history. They are seeking their first national championship. A 5-run 6th inning, the difference in this one for Oklahoma, including a pair of 2-run home runs, Katie Self and Lauren Chamberlain. And now Paige Parker. If she can retire the first 3 she sees, she will not have to deal with All-American Haley McClenny. The Sooners have not blown a 7th inning lead all season. The Tide do not have a walk-off win all season. And the bunt gets a base runner on for Danny Richard. Finding a hole through the right side.
Anytime you lay down a bunt, you're going to see second baseman Georgia Casey has to go to cover first, and it's in no man's land. It's beside Chamberlain, between Parker, and no one's there to pick it up. It's one of those bunts that dribbles in for a base hit.
That's Penley, the shortstop, who was out on the grass in right field to go get it. The number 9 hitter, Chandler Dare. Drift foul. ESPN superfan Emily Pitek on the dugout roof there to go after that pop-up. Dare with a pop-out and a ground out to second base. Gets away from Parker. Richard over to second base.
And this is what 4,000 fans feels like. Whether you're an opponent or they're cheering for you, it's loud.
Freshman, the last walk-off win for Alabama. Game 1 of the Supers 1 year ago in extra innings against Nebraska. Strikeout for Parker, 1 down.
Paige Parker continues to battle. Mixing up her pitches, throwing pitches with a purpose. That rise ball, great movement, late and sharp. You gotta love that lefty-lefty matchup for Paige Parker.
Top of the order and 2 more lefties, Turner and then McClenny. Doubled in the first inning, and then grounded out and lined out to the left side in the 3rd and 5th. Coming in on her hands, fouls it off.
Alabama right now not as patient as they were earlier. Those rise balls that Parker's given them a heavy diet of, they're swinging at, they're chasing. That's what adrenaline does. That's what the bottom of the 7th inning, when you're behind, forces you to do. Swing at pitches because you're trying to be aggressive early.
Tyler just 1 for 6 with a runner in scoring position. This is why you work hard all season. This is why you fight tooth and nail to get a top 8 seed in the NCAA tournament so you can play at home for the Super Regionals. Alabama has that advantage. Can they use it here in the bottom of the 7th against a seasoned veteran Oklahoma team, except in the circle where it's a freshman? Here's the 0-1 from Parker. 0-2.
Demi Turner, also a freshman. This is probably the biggest at-bat of her career. You can't tell me her heart isn't pounding.
Reaches for it. Chamberlain will record the second out at first. Richard over to third. 2 outs for Haley McClenny, who hit a home run in the third inning. Five postseason hits, all of them have left the building. Parker low and away, 1-0. .510 on the season with a runner in scoring position. You may want to be careful with McClenny to throw to Jaden Spencer behind her, who has a double and a couple of walks tonight. But you'd also be bringing the tying run to the plate.
And not only that, Beth, then right behind Spencer, if you don't retire her, you have Melissa Runyon, who is with the leader on the team for Alabama. That's the situation you don't want to be in.
3-0 to McClenny. And the tying run will come to the plate. Spencer, in their win over Oklahoma in the World Series last year, 2 home runs. Ball 1.
Whitney Ellis going out to talk to Paige Parker. Patty Gasso's already been out this inning. She cannot go out again, otherwise she would have to make a change. So that's the reason that you see Coach Gasso hanging out in the dugout.
The only strike that Spencer has seen tonight, she hit for a double to drive in a run. Hits her, and the bases are loaded for the number 4 hitter, Marissa Runyon.
And this was exactly the scenario I was talking about earlier. You don't want to get to it. That's why you have to go early at hitters. Work from ahead.
Runyon has 3 grand slams on the year. She's 6 for 11 with the bases loaded. The Crimson Tide do not have a walk-off win this year, and Oklahoma is 22-0 with a 7th inning lead. And all of a sudden, Parker is struggling to find the strike zone.
And you wonder at what point does Pendley potentially come in to pitch from that shortstop position.
There's the strike, 1-1.
9 consecutive balls before that last strike.
1-2. Runyon is the one that hit the home run to tie the game in the bottom of the 7th in last year's Supers Game 1. 2-2. Will go out and make sure she and Parker are together on this pitch. Single by Richard. McClenny walked. Spencer got hit by a pitch, so load him up.
Good hold by Runyon. Every part of her wanted to swing. She held up.
Off the 3-2 pitch. Runners will be moving. The payoff pitch here in the bottom of the 7th. They'll do it again.
Unbelievable 3-2 changeup. Paige Parker, look at the way she sells the pitch. Bases loaded, 3-2, right at Runyon. And you can see the way that ball, perfectly located, dives down through the zone.
What a finish for Paige Parker, and the reaction from her Sooner teammates. They go up 1-0 on a 5-run 6th inning with a couple of 2-run home runs from Lauren Chamberlain and Katie Self, and a gem of a pitching performance by the youngster. 2 runs, just the 5 hits allowed, and the defense behind her solid. The Michigan Wolverines are into the World Series, awaiting either the Sooners or the Crimson Tide. And Oklahoma now 1 win away from heading back home to Oklahoma City. Game 2 will be tomorrow at 5 Eastern on ESPN. If Alabama wins it, we will play right after that Game 3 winner take all. Boomer Sooners here at the Rhodes House for Oklahoma and Paige Parker. the freshman with the run support on the 2 home runs in the 6th inning. And Alexis Osorio, who had the no-hitter into the 6th. A big outburst from OU to win it and take game 1.